Hey guys, awkward opening again. We're doing it. It's time. 2 months. I promised it'd be like a month and a half. Yep, 2 months. Happened again. Always does. All right. So we are Masters of Dungeon. Masters of Dungeons. I am Molly, the DM of this campaign known as Illios, and these are my players. Logan, I'm gonna start with you.
Hey everyone, my name is Logan. I'll be playing Illigith, the Goliath Paladin of Ilmater.
Next is Ryan.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm playing Noki, a gnomish gunslinger.
You really need a cue, man. You're the only one left.
And I'm Wesley. I'll be playing Minty, but also Malvadrian von Silas, a bit of a corrupted hero. Molly, take it away.
Yep, hero, right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm also forgot to mention, but as you can tell, the overlays are working again.
Yay!
God
Super,
be praised.
super excited for that. Gnocchi also has a new overlay. They had last time. He found a picture that we all adore, and it's amazing. So I made that like 30 minutes before we started because we didn't know the overlays were working again.
Really don't need this much context, but okay.
We don't, but I'm giving it to him. All right. All right, we're going to start. Malvadrian. You stand at the edge of the black, putrid water in the grotto of the Matron, looking down into the water, seeing its reflection. You see approaching, walking through this dark wood, through the eyes of the crows, your former companions, with an armada of allies. These multiple wooden creatures, wooden humanoids that are all walking along with them, Illigith and Yoki at the lead. And they're armed. And they're all coming for you. Well, at least they're coming for the matron. You feel the presence of your lady, of your matron behind you. I take it everything has been prepared.
He answers without looking at her, and he kind of solemnly says, yes.
Good. And you would see, or it's at this point you would hear the clanking of these chains once again. You would see these vile chain demons positioning themselves around the obelisk amidst the black putrid water. And souls, these ethereal beings of gnome, soldiers, people, celestials, are walking from all over the forest to the obelisk. these chain demons are chanting a demonic chant. And your matron leans down over and looks into the pool and then looks at you directly by your face. You are rather glued to the image. Are you feeling regret?
And at this, he kind of turns to look towards her. Then he kind of, his eyes narrow and his brow furrows, and he says, I have but one desire: to kill the Empire. Are you questioning my loyalty?
She smiles at you, and she envelops you in her dark, wispy cloak, kind of wrapping her arms around your torso. It's like, of course not, Malvadrian. Just curious is all. The ritual is about to be underway. You know what to do.
He nods solemnly. Keep them away.
At all costs.
Malvadrian goes to look back at the pool. She stares deeper and deeper.
Kill them. And we go to Illios, Gnocchi, and the Minty, and the rest of the genasi. You're all walking through this dark forest. You've walked through it many times before. Little has changed. It's still dimly lit. Crows still clutter the canopy, watching your every movements. The only thing that is different is it appears as if there's this newfound pressure that you can all feel in the air. Just this feeling of loss, depravity, and almost hopelessness. But to counteract this, you all move forward, steadfast, into her domain. And Minty, you know, since you are the one leading this small army through the matron's domain, you can feel the energy, the matron's energy that just feels like a blight upon the world. You can feel it getting more concentrated, coalescing more and more as you walk further into this forest. It's not very far away. what are each of you thinking at this moment as you are all traversing the matron's domain?
Keep your chin up, Gnocchi. It is not far, I can feel it. Today, we save our friend.
Noki, kind of musket in hand, looks up to you and nods his head, not knowing what to say or able to say anything at this moment. More kind of focused on the task at hand than Illios, trying to cheer him up or tell him to keep his head up.
Yeah, Minty is kind of she's kind of looks up to you, Illigath, after you say that, and she kind of looks down at her palm, where the mark of Minty used to be on Malvadrian's hand is kind of like a corresponding like thing on her hand. And she kind of looks at it, and kind of feels like one side empty, and kind of tightens it into a fist with resolve. And she looks to you and she says, "You're right. We're gonna save him."
Yep. Talbot, beside you all, kind of moves forward. Like, I can feel the blight. Are we getting closer, my lady?
And she kind of shudders at like the intoxicating oppression that's kind of coming from the matron's abode, and she's like, "Yes, not too far off now. We'll be there any minute. Prepare yourselves. Some of us might not make it back alive."
And Talbot nods. These green, glowing eyes kind of inset into his wooden face. And he turns back to his men, his army, his allies at his back, and shouts out commands, points this way and that way, repositioning troops in the genasi language that none of you understand.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Illios,
you would actually catch like it's like it's in a different dialect, kind of.
for sure.
Yeah, and you would catch like the just different phrases, like, I'm it's like, get over there, get in formation, bows at the ready, sorcerers, prepare your magic, like just those kind of commands, as you would notice as walking forward. And as you do, the forest in front of you clears just the tiniest bit. There's still an adequate amount of trees, but not nearly as packed together as they usually are in this dense wood that you've been walking through for hours at this point. And you would see that in the midst of this forest, you see buildings, these small huts amidst this newfound like a clearing of trees. You would see various objects strewn across this seemingly abandoned village. Barrels, carts, small toys. These buildings don't even look it's really strange. They don't even look decayed. They don't look as if aged at all. It literally just looks like the people or the gnomes that presumably once lived here just vanished one day.
So this is in the distance.
Yes, and I actually have a picture of real. I was a good boy. I think. Hang out $2. All right, let's do it. Do 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 do. Okay, is it gonna work? I have to like turn on my camera. Okay, there we go. All right.
Okay.
So that's basically the site in front of you. The only thing I would say is, of course, imagine the leaves in the trees being black. Imagine the huts more spread out than what you see here. They're not all like like concentrated together like that. There's like ample space to move in between all of these huts, basically. And that's really the only change. Should I keep this up for y'all? Or y'all got the picture?
Doesn't bother me. It's fine. You can leave it.
All right.
Just stop presenting.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, of course, everyone can see this at the same time, but I guess this is a little unexpected for Illiga because he's very much unsure of what we're looking for, and he's going to. I mean, he knows that he's at the head of this army, though Talbot is leading them verbally, and he puts his arm up, kind of to stop everyone. Gnocchi, what are we looking at?
Does Noki know of this area?
Yeah, this is one of the. This is basically one of the forest gnome villages that you would know of that used to be in this forest, and where gnomes lived here happily, relatively in peace before the hags made their appearance and expanded their domain.
This was once one of the villages nearby that we'd visit often before the darkness spread and took it over.
Do you think this is some type of headquarter, or I am uneasy about how to proceed?
As am I. I do not know. I've never been in this darkness. I do not know where. I do not know if this is even inhabited, or if they have just claimed it and its inhabitants.
So, Molly, do we see any people like moving about inside the village at all?
From the outside, looking in from where Illigith has stopped y'all, no, you do not. It literally looks like the village is in pristine condition, except for the fact that all the gnomes that were here just seem to have like up and vanished.
Are there any like recent tracks or anything like that, or is it all kind of hard to tell?
Not that you can see, no.
Okay.
But you can feel, and probably at this point, you too, Ilgith, kind of feel, but at Minty, your connection to Malvadrian is pretty much what allowed you to find this place through the illusions in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel that he is very, very close at this moment.
Woman, what say you?
He's very close. If we go deeper into the village, I'm sure we will find a trace.
Talbot.
Yes.
Arrange your men accordingly.
Alutokota! And the men, these genasi, basically get into a marching formation and are spreading out amidst. And it should be noted, Illigith, that you can feel with your divine sense, you can feel that within this area there are multiple presences that unnerve you.
So, yeah, it's kind of just like a wave until now that hadn't been there.
Pretty
But
much.
this kind of, this nausea, this headache hits Illigith in a wave. And his fists tighten as he kind of slows his breathing to take in deeper breaths. This is it. Learn your surroundings quickly. This is where we save our friend.
Do we march forward?
No. Gnocchi and Minty. Let us go.
Yeah, Minty would just start heading off and deeper into the village, following the source.
Nick would be a few steps behind you, musket in hand. Or as he had actually switched to a shotgun as you walk towards closer quarters.
Illigith, are you
Yes.
sure about this?
I am.
Will have my men at the ready.
Thank you.
The first sign I see of the enemy, I will not hesitate to charge into battle.
I can only hope that it does not come to that. But should we fall, it will not be in vain. For we are blessed by your mother.
Talbot would give a small smile and nod. We will be watching. Good luck. God watch over us all.
And we walk.
As you all walk into the village, I would like everyone to make perception checks.
$18.
All right. As you are walking forward into the village, coming up against the first hut, the first few huts, Illios, you see farther into the village a shadow that was there for a split second and was gone again. And Minty, you notice up above you that some leaves might have fluttering. A crow crows and flutters off. You're not sure. You're not entirely sure if it was the crow or not, but you think you saw something in the midst of the trees, in the canopy.
Is it too late to like shoot like something at the crow?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I'd like, and it's in like a javelin of light flying at the crow, trying to like get it before it got too far off, type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll against the poor crow.
15 and 18.
Rolls twice.
All right.
Somebody's on edge.
Sorry, I needed a 19.
Shit.
But yeah, you hit both. You hit both times.
Rolls damage for a crow.
15 damage.
Oh my god.
Yep.
You just kind of see like a quick flick of the hand and a little a javelin made of light flies through the air and right in the eye of the crow. And then I kind of whisper in a low voice, "They know we're here."
Of that I have no doubt. And as he says this, he reaches into the sky, fist raised high, and a faint glow emerges from the shield in his hand. And his presence seems to grow larger than life. This divine aura of warmth envelops you two. It should be of note that my aura of protection has been increased, and my aura of courage to 30 foot. And also, I cast aid on us three. So that will be 5 points to your maximum hit points. Yeah.
All right.
5 points for our maximum.
Yeah. For the next 8 hours.
Oh shit.
And that's not temporary. That's like we can get healed that much too.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. 8 is a better spell in my book now.
I mean, I kind of wanted it to affect Talbot too. I can pick up to 3 allies. I don't know how far away we are, but just saying.
Yeah, you can pick up Talbot.
All right, cool.
He feels some loving from afar.
Yeah, you just turn around. He's like, "Sup, bro?" Like, give a thumbs up.
So yeah, I mean, Illigith is it's like if ever there was a ready look on Illigith, it's now. Like this faint golden white light surrounds him, emanating from his shield.
What does that shield look like, by the way?
Didn't I? I don't know, Molly. I don't have anything cool written out.
Right, sorry.
Is there like a
I mean,
picture or something?
I described it at the beginning of last session, sort of. There's
Alright.
not really a picture. I said that it was to the very end of my story. I said that it was a golden bulwark resembling the maw of a lion, a reflection of Illios' title.
Alright. Just wanted to get the image in my head while we're moving forward. Alright. And as you hold up your fist and the light like in a wave kind of like envelops Gnocchi, Minty, and Talbot in the back there. Gnocchi, you're the first to see the vines creeping forward. And as you see them, you have just a split second to say something to your allies before they all shoot at your feet.
Are they encircling us, or
They are not encircling you. They're going basically from the forward.
so Nokia would say, "Vines coming from ahead," and he'd back up further away from whatever direction.
All right. And because Gnocchi was able to warn everyone, I'll go ahead and give advantage on the dex saving throws.
Oh, bet. Shield Master for the win.
Good passive perception there, Gnocchi. I remember yours being pretty high.
It is the 16.
Yep.
So when you roll a 6 twice.
Oh, yeah, Illios Aura.
That's a 12.
All right.
Is yours Aura +2, Lo?
Yeah, my aura is +2, and I have a +4 saves because it's Dex from my Shield Master because I rolled a 6.
All right. And so you warned them, Gnocchi, Minty, you're both able to get back from these vines. Illigith, you try to reach back. They go shoot out at your arm, wrap around it, like kind of pulling you forward. And it should be noted that as soon as these vines lash out from behind, actually no, it should be noted that as soon as these vines shoot out, you can hear the sound amidst the treetops, and you look up and you see darklings falling towards you from the top of the tree trunks, glowing a bright light that you haven't ever seen before from them. And as they reach the ground, they explode in a brilliant display of white light. I would like everyone to make constant. Actually, no. So you two were able to get out of the way of this dropping assault from this darkling, but you, Illigith, will have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, starting off the night great. That'll be an 11.
Right,
plus 3. That's a 14.
14.
Yeah.
All right. So from that, you take 6 points of thunder damage from that because you made the save. And it should be noted that as soon as this happens, it's almost as if all at once, from behind these huts emerge multiple darklings, almost like this wave of darklings. These small, abominable little creatures that you know to be basically gnomes that have been corrupted by the matron's magic, all surge towards you in the streets of this village, of these huts behind everything, basically running directly at all of you. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, guys. All right. All right.
Mm.
Okay, slightly better for y'all. All right, so I'm gonna make the. I'm gonna go and do the initiative thing here. So I'm Illigith. You actually got first, which is a strange. I don't think that ever happens.
Because it's there's no modifier.
Uh-huh.
I switched my die.
Oh, I was wrong. I added a +4. I have a +7.
Rip.
Oh,
So
damn it.
that'd be an 18.
All right. So someone else comment something in the chat so that it can be like separated. Thank you. All right.
Uh,
17, Yoki, 15, Illigith. Surprisingly, Minty goes third. Definitely misspelled her name, but that's fine. Mitney, all right.
Mutton.
Mm-hmm. All right. Rolled like absolute crap. All right. So Illigith before you, and it should be noted that the Darkling that I'm pretty much suicide bombed on top of you. Is basically nowhere to be seen. He basically exploded, and you're slightly dazed. From the light, but you are not blinded because you made the saving throw. As the sea of Darklings kind of runs at you.
how far are they from us?
These Darklings right now, from y'all, are, since y'all are kind of walking into the village, they're probably about, I'd say, 30 feet from all of you. It's kind of like little miserable creatures that were kind of hiding behind everything. And it's weird. Some of them almost seem to just appear some of them seem to just appear from like random shadows. It's like there's no way this many Darklings could have hidden behind all these huts.
Are they grouped together, or are they?
They are definitely grouped together.
I want to walk up about 15 feet with my shotgun. And it is a 30-foot cone.
Indeed.
I want to aim it or get in a position so I hit as many as possible.
All right, you do so.
How many are there? I have to roll to hit.
This is definitely a situation where you only have to roll once, Ryan.
Oh. 17. Oh, so it is. That's okay.
Yep, you hit the poor bastard's AC. All right. So this is the first in combat shotgun shot that Gnocchi's ever done against enemies. What does this look? What does this look like as you basically move forward? In front of this sea of darklings that is basically rushing you.
He's got his shotgun in hand. He's used it once for foliage before, but he looks it over, making sure it's in working condition and everything's proper before he brings it back down, aims, and fires twice. Both chambers of the weapon. The second shot was also 17 to hit. And 23 damage total from both shots.
From both shots?
Yes. 16
All right.
from the first, 7 from the second.
All right. So you basically see as this is a shotgun loud?
Mm?
All right. So you basically hear the of the shotgun being shot into the sea of darklings, and you see basically as this arcane cartridge basically bursts apart into these bits, and it completely mows down the middle of this wave of darklings that are approaching you. They just all immediately fall to the ground dead, and more darklings rush to take their place.
As he does this and he takes his second shot, he's going to bonus action reload and back up 10 feet for the rest of his movement back towards his allies. That's all I got.
All right.
Do I need a strength saving throw?
Yes, you do. Go ahead and make that for me right now.
It's gonna be a 15.
All right. All right. So you like, "Ugh!" and just snap the vine from its roots, and as more of them trying to like take up, you just bat them away.
Yeah, and as he snaps the vines, kind of expecting to, annoyed by the hindrance, he walks, preparing himself as this onslaught is in front of him, meeting Gnocchi, and he kind of furrows his brow, shield in front of him. Your mother have mercy on your souls. As he meets them in combat, swatting his shield. How would you like me to do that?
And maybe some attack rolls.
14 and 16.
All right, both of those hit.
And that's going to be 14 damage and 8 damage.
All right. So you're just swinging this massive shield across the line. They just go, ah! And they just go flying. Like they crash into huts. They crumple as they land amidst their brethren that just keep walking over them as they surge forward. And basically the darklings Gnocchi didn't get, like in that first, you kind of like swing your shield and get basically the ones on like either side. They kind of like whee, like fly off from the massive shield. All right. Can you do anything else?
No, but he's positioned himself within, range of Gnocchi, and I mean he's just warming up.
All right. So I'm going to do something that I haven't actually ever done before. I'm actually going to try and keep track of where everyone is on a sheet of paper.
Wow.
So I don't, get confuzzled by everything. All right, let's see how that goes. All right. Minty, turn.
Yeah, okay. So are there any other big clusters of enemies like approaching or like what's kind of going on? Because I know that both of them kind of like took about a pretty big chunk of the advancing army. So can you give me a little bit of an update on like who my targets are?
All right. So your update, your update for the targets is basically when these darklings are dispersed, like when they're taken care of by Gnocchi and Illios, just kind of swatting them around or blowing them up, essentially. More darklings just stream from behind huts and from in these shadows and just continue to surge forward. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay.
Since you are asking about it.
This is 14. Tell me anything.
14. All right. You can see. So you can see some darklings. You can see some darklings in the back. Ones that are not moving forward that you can kind of make out, kind of like in between the other mass of darklings that are just moving forward. Like, to just like give you the visual, like just imagine like an army of ants, but it's darklings.
I got you. So it's kind of hard without seeing because I'm trying to basically decide between like a wall of light versus like dawn, and I don't really know like the positions of like the enemies like to be like most effective. So like if that new cluster hasn't come out yet and there's like a bunch of them, I'd probably dawn them. But if like nobody's really like in like a really big like bunch, then I'd probably just like wall of light in front of us type of thing. So could you like tell me figure out like you know what I mean? Like
so I didn't finish the description of the ones that are in the back.
Okay.
You can see that these creatures basically have these small short bows that they are pulling back, and you can see that amidst on the arrows of these things, you can see kind of this shadowy substance that is emanating from the tips of these arrows.
Okay.
That they are kind of preparing to fire.
I got you. There's my answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So Molly, the dimensions of a dawn spell is it's a 30-foot radius and it's a 40-foot high, just for whatever. But essentially like optimizing wherever like what I can see and like just trying to get as many of them as I can. That's where I kind of like place it. And how it looks is, Minty kind of like takes in like the battlegrounds before her, and she kind of thinks to the allies behind us and how like they have no idea like what's going on, and also she sees the clusters of enemies ahead, and so she kind of closes her fist and it radiates this golden white light, and she essentially kind of shoots this like I don't know like energy bolt or something like into the sky. And you see the image of Minty, like their symbol of her organization, the White Lighters, just kind of emblazed in the sky. And then from the sky, right directly above, like where it's about to come down, shoots this radiant light, just kind of like coursing like a waterfall, just like falling down and pummeling all of those guys in that 30-foot radius, just bombarding them with like waves of light. And so it's a Constitution saving throw, and it's a DC. Well, he didn't give me a spellcaster DC, but I think it's +5, +4, 17. I think.
Yeah.
Good God.
All right.
And then I gotta roll damage.
All right. So basically, you can see when you do this, so does the spell deal fire, radiant?
Radiant.
All right. So you can basically see like as this washes through the back line, essentially the backline archers of this group of darklings, you can see them basically being burned or like enveloped by this radiance. The darkness on the short bows on the left are basically completely extinguished from them, and you can actually see that above, from where you cast the dawn spell in the first place, you see multiple darklings fall from the canopy of the forest. They essentially look like maybe they were hiding up there, waiting to do something, and then they just all fall like burning from this radiant damage they take. And yeah, they super failed. So just saying.
So they take 26 on a fail and 13 on a save.
All right. So yeah, this back line of darklings at this moment is basically obliterated. You can see, what happens to them?
I just kind of imagine like light literally just kind of like cascading down and just kind of like hitting them. So it could just be like they're just like literally just like extinct. Like what happens when light hits shadow? It just kind of extinguishes, it disappears. That's kind of like what I imagine it kind of like looking like.
Mm-hmm. So you see the majority of this back line basically be seemingly evaporated.
Yeah, exactly.
As they're just gone. And you can see some that are kind of on the outskirts from this, attempting to kind of recover their wits, and they're just blocking their eyes. A lot of them have dropped the bows. Even some before then just feel the hot light at their back, and they're just kind of, it looks like they're in agony.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does Dawn have any other secondary effects?
No, but it's a concentration spell and I can move it, type of a thing. So it's just kind of like, imagine like a pillar of light, just kind of like 40 feet up into the air.
I just
Hey,
see
we're
like
here, guys.
literally a second sun above the village.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it was all dark and gloomy and no sunlight.
Taste the power of the white dawn. But like in a chick's voice. You know.
And of course, Illigot, that his enemy's dissipating in front of him. Ha ha! It is the light of Ilmater!
Yeah. You do see. I was trying to find what Minty's symbol looked like, but I couldn't find the image on my computer. I'm still trying to look for it. But anyway, so that's the end of my turn. Also, I'm like relatively like behind people for safety reasons.
Yeah.
You know.
And basically you hear from behind y'all, it's like, basically it's like, my allies charge! Like basically that. Illigith, you know what that means. And they charge forward. I'm basically joining you at this front line before the two sides clash, essentially. And you can see actually, as they approach the vines that I was talking about, you can see some of the front lines of darklings, like maybe like in the back, they're making these motions like they look like maybe they're controlling the vines, and they kind of they make these motions like if they're shooting the vines towards you, and the vines kind of follow in suit, and they all kind of like this web kind of like shoot forward all at you, and you can see amidst some of the genasi, you can see them with their hands glowing this green like natural light, just do the same motion, and basically the vines are just like pushed back or like eradicated as though they're about to envelop y'all's front line. And you'll move forward. Right. And the darklings. So these darklings move forward, meeting Illios and the line of genasi, basically wave crashing against wave. And Illios, you're gonna have about 4 brave you're gonna have multiple brave souls attempting to hit you. As these guys kind of crash into you. Your AC's 18, right?
Yes.
All right. So one of them manages to hit you. One of them critically failed though, and so that guy basically as he goes to attack you, you just swat him. You just swat him aside. He goes flying. And the other 2, you're able to either just like block with your shield, but one of them is able to kind of get under you and kind of like slash at your leg a little bit, and you're going to take rolled a 1 on the die. You're going to take 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
All right. And the rest will miss you because they're bad, essentially. Right. And so far, and again, other than you batting these things aside, you can see darklings crashing into the genasi. The genasi with these genasi, it's weird. Like the weapons they wield, basically they're all holding like these wooden clubs or like cudgels of them, and you can see all of them basically being emblazoned with this with the same like natural green light, and they're kind of like just kind of like a smashing into the front line. But the darklings go ahead and do the same regardless, and attack each of them. And notably, you can see that most of the darklings, I'm gonna get in there and do some damage to the front line. Maybe 1 or 2 genasi goes down, but one in particular, you can see a darkling jump onto this genasi and basically shove his blade into the neck of this genasi with a serrated edge. Just take it across his throat, and you see his green lifeblood kind of is spewing out of him as he falls to the ground. That one crit. All right. And so no one else at this point is in the front line. Right. And you would see also pretty much as soon as the waves crash, you would see in these huts, you would see 3 huts actually pretty much explode as these big creatures, these shadow hounds. They look, if you want an image, essentially think of a hellhound. As these things emerge and they're wreathed in the shadowy light, and they let out a sound that basically sounds like a think of like a reverberating, like a train horn or something like that. They let out this sound, and you can see darklings riding them. as they kind of move forward, smacking across their brethren as they move forward to meet people in the front. And one of them is actually going to make it to the front and take a swing at you, Illios. As this thing just tries to bite at you. Right, it manages to do so. All right. And so you are going to take 11 points of piercing damage. This guy rolled like crap. You're going to take 11 points of piercing damage from this hound as he kind of bites into your arm. And with that, it is Gnocchi's turn. Is he here? Oh, he's here.
Sorry. I didn't take any damage there, did I?
You did not.
Is there another crowd of them? Or are they starting to spread out now?
They are. So remember how I pretty much described, as this is basically just imagine like an army of ants is like moving forward, and as soon as some are taken out, some come out of the woodwork to basically take their place, just like a little bit behind them.
Okay. How far is Illios from me?
Right next to you.
Yeah, Illios. Yeah, Illios. I mean, at the farthest away, he's like 10 feet from you. At the farthest.
I'm gonna step up next to Illios, shotgun in hand, and I'm gonna try and hit as many people as I can, including the ones on top of him, without hitting him.
All right, go for it.
And if there's like something like a bigger creature, I think you said there's a hound, then I want to be point blank to that, so it takes extra damage. Uh, 20 to hit for the first one. The second one is an 11. You just want me to roll once, right? Holy.
When he unmutes and doesn't say anything.
Right?
Uh,
4.
well,
I did 2,000 damage.
well, he muted again.
Well,
There he is.
hey, for whatever reason, it wasn't going through. But yeah, for the Darklings, go ahead and roll once. And for the hound, the second didn't hit the Hound or its rider, but the 20 definitely did.
Alright, so if they're point blank to me, they are going to take 32 damage.
All right.
If they are in the rest of the count, they take 16. And that's from the first shot. That's the only shot that hit.
All right. And so yeah, from that you can see that the Darkling that's riding this large shadow hound. Manages to stay on, but only barely. And the hound is basically like The Hound is basically like a push back. I mean, he's not pushed back 10 feet, but you basically get him off of Illios with that shotgun blast.
Sweet. I roll max damage.
Yeah.
If he's off, does that mean he gets an attack of opportunity?
So technically, we've been doing attack of opportunities wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's only when you voluntarily move out of the space.
Yeah. No, we haven't been doing them whenever they get like just moved out from, like, we haven't had many of those if we have, because 5e says that it has to be the voluntary move, not just when they get moved.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I hated that in Pathfinder. The idea is that they're like retreating or moving somewhere else away from you.
Yeah.
So you get to like get over here.
And then I'm going to stow my shotgun and take out one of my pistols.
All right.
And that's all I got.
All right. Illios, friend just came up and blasted the giant hound off your arm.
And I see it as the hound is in this kind of rabid state, and it's blasted back by this shotgun. But as soon as it recoils, it just like jumps with its maw open towards Illios, and he brings his shield up above his head as it glows in this light and smashes it over this hound that jumps at him with a first level smite.
Right.
Okay. That is 24 to hit. Had to say it, Molly.
Yep, definitely hit.
That is 8 points of radiant damage and 10 points of physical damage.
Exactly. You kill it.
So I see it as, he just brings his shield down, smashing this shadow hound's head into the ground as its rider flies off of it, halted directly in front of Illios as he gets up and readies for the next, which he has because he has another attack.
Yep. So yeah, the hound, its head crushed, basically just goes limp in front of you. And you actually see the hound disperse into shadow as it dissolves after you dealt the finishing blow.
So I assume that was the only hound that was ahead, and the rest of them haven't yet caught up, or?
Yeah, the other two hounds, with their riders, are, I would say, about 15 feet away from the front line.
Okay. Well, then with that, he's going to Illios is going to where is it? Bonus action is going to basically ignite his hand in this holy fire and prepare an action for when the next approaches him here in just a moment.
All right. Minty, your turn.
Okay, Molly. Quick rules question. So, would it be possible if I moved the Dawn cylinder to on us, but like it not damage us, just like anybody who like enters into it? You know what I'm saying?
Didn't damage us.
Not damage us. That's what I'm saying. Like it would just be kind of like, because otherwise, I mean,
it shouldn't damage us at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't see any reason why this essentially radiant light would do any damage to non-evil humanoids.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like move it around, but in order to damage somebody, the creature has to end its turn within the cylinder. So I'm just gonna keep it like on us, and anyone that comes at us basically has to come through it.
All right, yeah, for it.
Yeah, so essentially, and then also, where's the next biggest cluster of enemies?
Next biggest cluster.
Yeah, that's where I'm aiming my next spell.
All in front of you, bro. You probably got the. You can probably get one of the hounds in there as well.
I mean, I would preferably like aim it at like the hounds, like almost exclude. Like, how many hounds are there?
Right now, you can see 2.
Oh, okay. Can I hit both of those guys in a? I'm trying to see what my range is. In a 20-foot radius, so 40 feet total.
Oh yeah, you can hit both of them with that.
Okay, and then hit as many other people as possible. You know, optimize that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and I drew from memory kind of what the white lighter symbol looked like. It's pretty bad. So essentially, it looks kind of like an hourglass. I don't know if you guys can see.
Yeah, I kind of remember it. I think I've seen it.
It looks kind of like an hourglass, but it's not connected, and that's basically what it looks like. So that's kind of like the burning symbol in the sky, is that. And so essentially now from that, you kind of see it, you know, kind of move, you know, however many feet over and just kind of like surround us in this like light that's just kind of like pouring out like a river, kind of like pushing out like the darkness surrounding us. And then also from that same like, you know, sigil in the sky, you see this basically meteoric ball of light just kind of like fall at a slant down towards the location wherever it hits Molly, and just kind of like combusts into this ball of light on like a meteor, essentially landing in the middle of their line and taking out hopefully those 2. What's it called? It's a dexterity saving throw.
All right, yeah. So I'll go ahead and make that for both the hounds. All right.
13, 15.
It's a DC what?
17.
Right. Let me almost X out of the Google Hangout window. That would be great. Okay,
Okay, so those guys take 34 on a failed, and what is that? 17 on a save. Then anybody who ends their turn basically within, oh crap, what's the distance? Like 30 feet of us? Yeah, anybody who is in a 30-foot radius around us will take 40-10 radiant damage. So like whoever ends their turn in that thing, just let me know. Basically anybody who's in our 30-foot radius.
Yep. All right, and sorry, you said that was a DC 17, right?
Yeah, for both. It was a dexterity saving throw, while the other one's a constitution for the radiant damage. Or for the dawn.
All right. For the... Okay, so let's start with the hounds. So as this giant ball of light just like descends and kind of like decimates that 20-foot radius in front of you, one of the hounds actually, you can see basically, it's really weird, but he basically rolls like to the side, like to the detriment of his rider, and he rolls and like kicks up some darklings basically to block his path between the radiant ball of light, and the other hound kind of jumps out of the main a portion of the blast, but the first one didn't take any damage. He crit his saving throw, and the second one takes half because he also made it, and all of the darklings in those areas just evaporated. Also, pretty much all the front line is evaporated as well from your dawn spell.
Awesome.
Yep. And sorry, how much was it on a success for the fireball?
34 on a fail, 17 on a save.
right, my favorite part of D&D is doing the math for HP.
Number crunching. Yeah.
Yep.
Guess
All
I
right.
should have been an accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still can.
No.
Right. All right, so yeah, Minty, that's your turn. Genasi turn. All right. And so, basically, I'm at this moment, Talbot, comes up, beside you, Illigith, and just starts, or maybe like on your left. I imagine Yoki's like probably on your right. Talbot comes up on your left and just starts smashing Darklings aside, and he basically, I mean, you can see him hold out his hand. It begins glowing with this green light, and you can see basically erupting from the ground this gigantic vine that's under his control, like in the midst of the forces, and you can see the vine just go and like swing and basically knock a pretty good portion of these Darklings aside, and they just go flying. That's in front of you. And it's at this point you can see the arrows and the magic that's just being pelted into the Darklings forward. As you can see, more and more of them just go down under this arrow fire and magic barrage. And y'all gain, from the front line being evaporated, y'all basically gain like 10 foot forward. Y'all are able to advance because of that. And I'll go ahead and say that y'all go ahead and move up unless you don't want to. If that's fine.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you any extra movement, of course. Yeah. So, let's see. All right. With that, it is the Darkling's turn. And you can see these two hounds bounding toward, and one of them barks at the other one. You can see the other one kind of look over and like make a grunt, and one of them basically just barrels into y'all's group, to all of y'all. I'd like to say Illigith, Nyoki, and I'm going to go ahead and roll for a Talbot as well to make an opposed athletics check against this large creature as it tries to like barrel into y'all.
Athletics, you say?
Athletics, I said.
A 19?
Yeah.
Everybody has a +2.
Oh, you can do acrobatics. Okay, sorry. Athletics or acrobatics. Yeah, there you go.
We get +2 to skill saves, or skill checks.
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's a skill check, not a save. My bad.
Yeah, just saves. What did you say you got, Logan?
19. Cool.
19? All right. And so actually you see basically the hound again not caring for its Darkling brother and knocking them aside. I got to roll for Talbot. Okay. So you can see the hound barrel into y'all, and this thing is huge. Not huge by D&D standards, of course, but it's pretty damn big. It's pretty big, damn big hound, and it barrels into y'all, and with its 22, knocks over Illigith and Yoki.
I had an action prepared.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, it's
I mean,
large.
I literally had a swing, meta swing ready for when this was coming.
Yeah, go for it.
So suck my fist.
And this is the first one, or this is the second one that took a little bit of damage from the fireball.
Wish a 19 was a crit.
Nope.
Should have
So
been Anderville
Yep.
mod.
this is going to get an extra D8 because it is a fiendish hound.
All right.
And these things are clearly coming at my allies.
Yep.
So we're going to hit it with lots of stuff. Let's do a level 2 smite for 5d8. So that'll be 1 physical damage because I'm going to, that'll be 6 radiant plus, that'll be 12 radiant and can I math?
Hopefully.
23?
Should have been an accountant.
Yeah, right. 23 plus 4.
23 plus 4.
27 damage. As I smite the crap out of this Shadow Hound.
All right, yeah. So yeah, this thing still manages to knock you over, but you get a damn good one in edgewise. And this thing basically, as it attempts to get up after knocking you all prone, it's kind of trembling and it definitely appears to be on its last legs. But this one, the other one, taking the opportunity, jumps over and attempts to gun it straight for you, Minty. And in doing so, I believe it enters Dawn.
Well, I mean,
It has to end its turn for it to take damage. That's typically how the spell works. So, I mean, however you want to do that.
Okay. And how far back are you from the main line?
I don't know. Like, where are they at? Where?
So, yeah, so they're basically all on the front line. I'm doing their thing. I don't think you ever moved forward.
Basically, I'm the epicenter of the dawn, so like I'm at least within, like they're within my 30-foot radius. So I mean, it's not further than 30 feet back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and so this hound basically gets into the dawn. You can see it just start to burn, but it continues going forward, and you can see the rider as it's riding forward pull out a hand crossbow and to shoot 2 bolts at you.
Okay.
What's your AC?
It is a 16.
All right, so the first one hit, the second did not. And you are going to take 8 points of piercing, and you're also going to take 7 points of necrotic.
So you said 8 plus 6?
7.
8 plus 7? Okay, so 15.
Yeah, 15. Yep, all right. And the hound is basically being impeded, one by the dawn and 2 by the wave of genasi that is essentially engulfed himself in trying to get at you and kind of get within range of the hand crossbow to make sure it can hit you easily. And you can see of course the darklings that begin also to flood in from the sides, and actually you can see as the darklings behind the front line, you can see as they pull out these daggers, and again they are just covered by the shadowy essence, and they slam these things into the ground, and basically the entire front line in a, I believe, 20-foot radius, so basically 20 foot behind them, 20 feet, like in front of you, like from the front to the back of y'all's line, 20 feet. it is encompassed in a sphere of darkness, like just multiple spheres of darkness along the front lines.
So if they're within my dawn radius, it does act like the spell sunlight. I think it says this light is sunlight. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
Okay.
Well,
how you wanna
and
do that?
since dawn is a 5th level spell and darkness is a 1st level spell,
Yeah.
just saying.
And does it, if it comes into contact with it, does it like completely dispel the spell, or just like in its area?
What do you mean? I'm kind of confused by what that means.
I mean, like, because you have dawn, like, basically, like, over the front line, right?
So how I see it, it's 30 feet radius, and then it's kind of like
For a second.
basically wherever the battle line is like where like the every like all of our allies are like in the dawn spell, if that makes sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or as many as we can, and like me, Logan, or me, Illios, and Yoki are in also that radius. So however you see that, like whatever geometry that is like kind of where it's at. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to have it where like they did it outside of the dawn, because it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to like, oh, shadow blast inside this radiant, you know, that's fine
Yeah,
with me.
that's basically how I wanted to do it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like at the fringe. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so just it's 30 feet like away from us, or however you want to do that.
Yeah, so basically this void has like appeared in front of y'all, and you can see attacks like kind of come out from this darkness to kind of attack you. I'm gonna go ahead and make some attack rolls against Illios and Gnocchi. Holy shit! I get to make attack rolls against Gnocchi.
Kill him. What?
You can try.
All right, so none of them hit Illios because they're bad. And let's see, what's your AC, Gnocchi? 16. All right. So this is what happens. You see these blades, or like these daggers and these short swords, kind of like come out to try and cut you from the darkness, and you're able to dodge, maybe knock one of them away with your shotgun, but one of them
rolls with disadvantage as Illigus imposes his shield on his ally.
Get wrecked, Molly.
Yep, and has to re-roll the crit he rolled. All right. And so that definitely does not hit you now. With a 15, just shy of hitting you.
I believe that
Studded leather.
I believe that grants me the ability to make a free attack against this Darkling as he shoves his dagger into the light.
Definitely does.
Okay, so that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Hits.
I'm going to roll an extra d8 for this dark creature. And that's going to be 13 points of damage. Sorry, that was a 21 to hit.
Still hits.
Got my sacred weapon.
All right, so yeah, you see. This is kind of how I imagine it. You see this thing, coming out to strike your friend. You knock the initial blow aside. You grab the arm that was using the dagger, and you basically just like use him as like a hammer or like something, just like across the front line, maybe like the 4 or 5 darklings like in front of you, just go, and the one that you were using just is limp at your hand, and you like drop him.
No, I make him my new shield.
Oh, there we go. His name Silva. That's his name. His name is Silva.
I'm gonna name this one Gold.
Oh yeah.
Never mind. All right, back at it.
All right. All right. And you can feel, Illigus, you can feel a familiar presence in this darkness, like in this dark line. You've felt the like alien nature of this creature before. When you yourself battled one in the sphere of darkness like 6 sessions ago. If you remember what the mean lock is, you feel its presence within the darkness, but you cannot see them.
It was like a insect.
Yeah, it was like this
like
insect
a
abomination.
Skyrim.
Insect looking ass. Aberration looking ass creature. Okay, Gnocchi.
That wasn't 6 sessions ago. That was like 3.
That was session 8.
With like Xylem turning and Darklings and I haven't. Anyway.
Yeah.
So our dawn is surrounded by darkness, right?
So there's basically this wall of light that's enveloping y'all right now, and in front of you is just a black void. Like a going up 20 feet, basically.
I'm gonna move my action or my turn to behind Minty.
All right. Make me redo the initiative.
Making Illios first in initiative now.
Hey.
That gives me the opportunity to fix fix Minty's name. All right, okay, it's your turn.
I think I'm on my butt.
Or
That didn't make any sense, but okay. I will use half my action. Okay. What's going on?
sorry, but before that, I'm on Gnocchi. Did you say you went behind Minty?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. What's going on? There's this wall of darkness in front of you. You know the Darklings are there. You can also feel the mean locks that have appeared from this darkness.
So there's stuff behind it.
Indeed.
Right. Okay, well then, yeah, well, Illios gonna do what any rational creature would do. He's gonna put his shield up and back away into the protection of dawn, up to Gnocchi and Minty, shielding his allies and leaving ample space of sunlight right in between everybody.
Right.
And he's gonna prepare his action to smash. Or rather, subdue.
All right. Minty. What's up?
Okay, so what's the distance from the very edge of my dawn to wherever the shadow balls are at?
Literally on the edge.
Isn't it 30 foot?
Okay, so essentially, if we're the epicenter, I'm essentially putting it so like now they're at the epicenter, and we're still in the light, but we're no longer like in the middle. It's just it's kind of like a lopsided, like we're still in it, but we're like on the south side of it, and then like we're like overlapping it.
You have moved your dawn forward, and the darkness dispels.
She like throws her hands upward towards the sky. You shall feel the light of the dawn, and then she moves it forward. Cascading light down upon you.
Wesley, the mission in Mass Effect when you have to use the suicide mission, you use the biotics to carry you forward as they shield up. I see this just massive like light shield just moving forward rolling over the enemies.
Exactly. That's perfect. Perfect analogy. Yeah, it's essentially what I'm doing, and it's still this cascading torrent of light, just beating down on the light, breaking the shell of darkness, hopefully. I don't know if you want to like roll off or something
Yeah,
to like break it.
fifth
Are
level
you kidding
spell.
me? That's a 5th level spell versus the second. That's a 5th level spell.
I just
versus
wanted
the
to
second
give you
level
a
spell.
chance, so you know.
You just want. I
Don't be
roll
so
at
nice.
I roll at triple or like quadruple disadvantage.
Instant dispel.
Uh huh.
Darkness rules as written, it dispels anything lower than second level light. So
Indeed.
same way the other way around.
What is done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Oh my gosh! Please sing Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
You can run on for a long time, Malvadrian.
Johnny
You can
Cash
run
just comes
on
out
for
and
a
starts
long
strumming
time,
the guitar.
Malvadrian. You can run on for a long time, Malvadrian. Sooner or later, your mother's gonna cut you down.
Good times.
Should have been a bard.
Still can.
It's not too late. You never know what'll happen.
Illios did sing.
It's true. All right. You move the dawn forward, basically where y'all are still your line. You put the epicenter basically at the front of the line now, right?
Yeah. We're like on the bottom half of the circle.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's only my bonus action to move it. I'm still gonna again wherever the biggest concentration of enemies are, and hopefully the giving priority to hitting the shadow hounds. Another flaming radiant meteor bomb will come from the heavens,
Yep. And
crash down upon them.
Indeed. I'm just saying this. I forgot to apply the damage to the hound that was his turn there, so I'll just apply the damage to what you roll now.
Okay. So 28. If you fail, DC 17 dex save, and 14 if you do save.
Oh yeah, he super fails.
So then he takes 40. Yeah.
Oh, 40.
No, I'm just kidding. 28.
All right.
You can take 40 if you want, you know.
Hey.
Just saying. It's always an option.
All right. So yeah. Yeah. So you can see. You can see as that one shot, the Shadow Hound that knocked Nyoki and Illios prone just evaporates. The thing dies, along with its rider. But the one that I would say is probably about 10 or 15 feet away from you, like when it attempted to jump on you, but just kind of got stopped as it was like wading through a wave of genasi essentially to try and get you. That both its rider and the hound are still alive, but they are just burning to all hell. I mean, burning to all heaven.
Ha! No, they ain't going there.
Yep. And essentially, Wesley, like as you move the dawn over the entire front line, everything that it touches basically disintegrates.
Seems fair.
Literally 30 feet of their line disintegrates.
Hold the line! JK, everyone is dead.
Yeah.
Everyone is dead.
All right. So, Nyoki.
Alright. I stand up. I move to the edge of darkness. And I fire blindly with my shotgun.
Darkness is now gone.
Oh, then I don't fire blindly.
Also, the
Goober.
enemies are like 30 feet of their line has basically been decimated.
Sorry.
Dead.
Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, were you about to fire? Sorry about that.
I
Okay,
So-
Kana.
distance.
Actually,
Sorry. Let me just say this before you go, Ryan. It might change what you do
okay.
a little bit. But so as the line is obliterated, y'all basically get to move forward. You'll get to move forward about 15 feet, like
That's
through
much better speed.
yeah, about halfway through as you're all moving up to like still meet the wave of darklings.
Then I will move up the 15 feet. That's all I have. And fire 2 shots with my shotgun.
Come on, y'all are acting like it's not a pump action.
13 on the first one.
13.
Yep. And 23 on the second one.
So for the 13, they managed to the darklings in the area like managed to shield themselves with some of the vines they're kind of control, but the second shot just blasts through them all, vines and all.
So as they take the brunt of the second attack, they take 10 damage, and those that are point blank take 20.
All right.
And I do have my pistol in my other hand, right?
All right.
So I get 2 shots with that. 17 to hit and 18 to hit.
Okay, they both hit.
6 and 14, or whatever.
All right. So yeah.
And I reload my shotgun.
So yeah, basically again, with the second shot, you decimate. You don't decimate everything within the cone, like you normally would. But you decimate about half of them.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and for the pistols, they basically land. You can see it's like like you can see like where they land. Basically, the shots of energy just like disperse and knock out some darklings wherever they land.
Sweet.
Except for the first shot. You said that was 6, right?
Yeah, the first bullet did 6, the second did 14.
Yeah, so they're only maybe like 1 or 2 darklings died of that. All right, and Yoki has moved forward. All right, and thankfully the genasi are after him, so he is not boned. All right, so the genasi. I mean, damn it! The darklings are after Nyoki, not the genasi. What are you talking about? Wait, no. Yeah, so the genasi move forward. Meeting the new line. Y'all are, for the first time now, y'all are getting in to basically the second row of like huts. Like y'all are getting pretty far into the village. Like the 30-foot that just got decimated is ugh. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of ground y'all gained. Basically, as y'all move forward into this village. All right, and the genasi, first of all, will try and take out the hound, who was stupid enough to try and jump into the entire group there. Okay. Okay, so basically, you see this hound basically go down in a surge, and a surge of green light as a magic arrows and cuddles basically pelt this thing into non-existence. And the leader falls into the genasi behind y'all, and he disappears under their feet, basically. All right, and genasi again, like move up, start attacking the line of Darklings. Okay. They do not do as well this round, but they still get a good portion. They only manage to maybe knock out or like incapacitate maybe like a third of the Darklings in the front lines right now. All right, and so is now the Darklings' turn. That is correct, yes. I don't know why. For whatever reason, the screen like double halved itself. Google Hangout, and I'm not sure why. Right, but yeah. And basically, from the back, you hear a cry, like a cry go out. And you can see that basically the back line that had been obliterated earlier with these bows have kind of regrouped themselves, and are now actually able to counterattack. Their arrows are still wreathed in the shadow, but basically as soon as they touch the darkness, as soon as they touch the dawn, they extinguish, but the arrows themselves keep on flying. And flying outward. So Illios, I'm going to roll for you first. Yep, none of them hit you. Because your AC is...
Shield OP!
AC. Yep. Gnocchi. 2 of them hit you. All right. And Gnocchi, you were going to take 9 points of piercing.
Does my protection fighting style work on ranged attacks?
You are not next to him right now.
What?
Yeah, he moved forward.
I ditched you, bro.
Why would you do that?
You ditched the tree.
Because I didn't have enough move speed to move back to the tree. Because I had to stand up.
Oh, lame. I saw us moving forward together, but whatever.
Yep. And so
Take the damage!
Gnocchi takes damage for the first time in forever. And
First time since the acid landed on it.
3.
right. And Minty, you are going to take, because you are the one that they have to deal with at this point.
It's like
they have ascertained that you are the one that is pretty much demolishing everyone at this point. Like, sure, you got the big guys in the front line doing all that, but you were literally raining down.
Basically, Molly, they didn't bring sunblock.
Basically, yes, they don't wear sunblock. All right. So let's see. What's your AC?
16.
16. All right. So 4 of them hit, and 1 of them is a crit.
okay, so I'm not beside none of my allies.
Pretty
I
much.
did say I backed up next to my allies. I'm just confused as to where I'm at, I guess. Because Minty never backed up. And I did back up away from the edge of the light and the darkness to the allies, and Yoki moved forward.
All right. So yeah, let's say you're by Minty.
I just want to make sure that I know where I am.
Yeah. You did say that you backed up, and I forgot that you said you backed up. And into your allies. And so go ahead and block. Go ahead and block one of those shots. I'm assuming you want to try and block the crit.
No.
All right, so they're going to roll again. They still managed to hit.
Not a crit.
But it is not a crit anymore.
And I get to take that damage, I believe.
You do. You can choose to take it.
Oh, God. No! Go ahead. Minty can have the damage.
Alright, so Illios, you're going to take 6 points of piercing.
Dang right I am.
That attack. And Minty, you're going to take... Oh, they decided not to roll like crap now, so that's good. So you're going to take 17 points of piercing.
Rub some dirt in it.
From those three. And I'd like you to make me a DC 10 concentration check.
That's a con save, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So add 2.
You there, Wesley?
I rolled a 15, so I make it.
Oy.
All right, so yeah, you're able to. you're able to keep the dawn going. And so that was the archers. I believe I've not rolled for anyone else. And so, Gnocchi, you are in the front line. Yes, you are. All right.
Behind the genasi.
We are the front line.
So all the ones that a swing at you managed to dodge or knock aside, but one of them still manages to get through. All right, you're gonna take 6 slashing damage.
Ow.
Yep. All right. All right. So that is. Okay, let me see. Just double checking things. Double checking things real quick. Oh, all right. So at this point, you can see from the back line these spheres of darkness once again just appear. And you can see basically out of each of these spheres of darkness, this is probably about 10 in total. You can see from out of each of these a new large shadow hounds appear from the back line and begin to bound forward. All right. All right, sounds good. So those are the darklings. Right. And I don't know why I'm rolling a die. It'll get to Chucho.
So I'm next to Gnocchi.
All right.
I don't think there are any enemies around. So
I mean, Gnocchi was at the front line. Like there are enemies in front of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like just darklings?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nope, I don't move. I defer.
All right. Who do you defer to?
Minty.
All right.
I mean, come on. You control the giant orb of light that is
Yeah,
demolishing the enemy.
fair enough.
Your move.
All right, rinse, cycle, repeat. Only wherever there's the biggest cluster of enemies, another meteor of light roars down upon them.
Advance!
All right.
Giving precedence to the 10 Shadow Hounds, obviously. So I want to hit as many of those as possible. And then essentially, again, wherever the where the new battle line is, I want us to be like in the bottom half of it, but the epicenter to be, same thing.
Yeah. All right. You do so.
All right. Oh, I have to roll damage. I hate this stupid thing. Oh, by the way, if anyone ended their turn in the thing, let me know and I'll roll damage for that too. All right, 6. 22. 20. All right, 34. So that's 17. No, yeah, 17 if they save. 34 if they fail.
Yep. All right. And this is for the fireball.
Yeah, and then that's a dexterity DC 17.
Yep. And so I'm assuming that you said a biggest cluster of enemies. Am I right in assuming that you would want to get majority of the hounds?
Yes.
Or as many as you could in that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so you could probably get 4 hounds in that.
Perfect.
10.
I do that. I killed them all.
Yep. So. Two of them crit fail, and the other 2 still don't pass the save. So I'm just gonna. Those 2 are basically evaporated.
I appreciate that.
And the other 2 take the 34 damage, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so they take the 34 damage, and the riders on top of them are obliterated. And these hounds are looking pretty worse for wear.
I'm glad.
Yep.
As am I.
All right.
How many rounds has it been? Like 4?
3 or
5? 4. Okay.
All right. And so you said that you said that they only take damage when they end their turn in it.
Yeah, you have to end your turn within the cylinder, within the radius to take damage.
Mm-hmm. All right. You know what? Screw that rule. The third, as you move the thing forward, just once again, waves and waves of darklings are obliterated, and you can see that for the first time you can see the end of their forces. Essentially, they appear to have run out. It seems they aren't pouring in like they were before. It is now literally just the back line, and Fireball technically doesn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The dark spheres that were encompassed by the Fireball's blast are basically dissolved, because it's basically this gigantic ball of radiance that is a 3rd level spell. So it is going to dissolve that, as you can see. So Minty doing work. These guys are on their last legs. And I don't know whose turn it is.
Mine.
Yours. All right.
Wait.
Either Gnocchis or
Gnocchi.
Illigith. They both referred to me, so I don't know.
I defer to Illigith.
Ha!
Oh my gosh.
Boy! That's what I'm talking about. Ilmater continues his walk. Most of this is not. He's not really stopped his kind of this slow walk towards as he goes to join Illigith. Basically.
Wait,
No,
God is there?
wait, what?
Yeah, because he said Ilmater continues his walk forward.
Yeah, no, he's just chilling, walking, like cruising through the battle. He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
It's like,
I
shit.
grab the gnome
By the throat.
by the
Yeah,
throat. No,
that's what Ilmater's doing. He's
but
holding the gnome.
it's because as he walks forward, he's kind of grabbing at his arm where the hound bit him. Ilmater, my flesh is yours. And as he removes his hand, his wounds, they cauterize and skin immediately, like new, appears where the wounds were, as he heals himself for 22 points of lay on hands. And joins Gnocchi.
All right. And Illigith. It's at this point that you feel
Go ahead.
essentially an explosion of this dark blight energy, but you don't feel it like around you, around your forces, or around. You feel it behind the back line, essentially. You feel as if there has just been a massive influx of this foul arcane energy that has just sort of erupted behind this back line. And as your vision focuses, you can see that at the edge of this known village, and really Minty and Yogi probably see it as well, but you definitely see it first, Illigith, because you noticed, and it probably probably shocked you. It's like just this enormous energy just like came out of nowhere, but you can see that beyond the village, in the thicket, an opening. Seemingly a tunnel.
Okay, so we have an explosion behind our advancing line, and we have the entrance to an abode.
Essentially, yes.
In front of us. All right. I mean, Illigith is unwavered. Press on, comrades! We must continue! As he continues forward.
I think Joki's next.
I actually defer again.
Oh my lord almighty. Defer to after the Darklings, please. Just do that.
How far are these enemies from me?
Front line. Just say I'll move up. After Illiget's cry, you'll basically move forward.
I'll take it.
Yep.
Alright. A shotgun blast.
You shotgun blast.
18 and 19.
18 and 19.
$44 damage for point blank, 24 for lower. 22 for not point blank.
They're all obliterated.
I cry tears of happiness.
Good. Yeah. All right.
I reload my shotgun.
Where's... I have a water bottle somewhere. There it is. There you go. All right. Probably sounded terrible, but it sounded like a shotgun being reloaded to me. All right.
That was great moment.
Is this genasi?
Yeah.
All right. And essentially, you can hear Talbot shouting out. You can hear Talbot shouting out orders. And basically saying, "Make a path!" is essentially what he's saying.
Classic Talbot.
And you can see that Talbot, along with the spellcasters, are basically working together in this genasi, and they both bring up just multiple, these huge vines from the ground that just kind of erupt. And you can see as they basically split the line in the middle and shove them aside, creating a path. And you can see a couple darklings just like starting to spill over, like after they were kind of like knocked aside, they're kind of like in your path, but it's essentially almost a clear straight shot. All right. Oh yeah, it's the darkling's turn. I was like waiting for something to happen. I was like, well, I guess what you gonna do? But no, my turn. All right, and you can basically see these darklings and these hounds is like attempting to get back into the action. Like they've been pushed aside and they want to get back in your path. They want to. They essentially want to do their job, keep you from moving forward. And the hounds, and two of the hounds actually do not manage to reach you, but they do manage to get over, along with a couple darklings that are kind of like hanging onto their side as they're kind of like running forward in like this last ditch effort. It seems like. And it'll get your turn.
It's Minty's turn.
Oh yeah, Minty. Forgot that you.
Okay, so basically, what did Talbot say again? Like form a line,
Make a path.
make a path,
Make a path, and they made a path.
and I can feel Malvadrian's juju coming from the hole over there or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my. Okay. So in the midst of the battle, I kind of turn to Illigeth and Yoki and I say, I can feel him. He's just through there. I really want to go through there now before something else happens. Battle going on around.
Yeah, I'm like, should I respond?
Yep.
No
Cinematic moment. Slow motion.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
mean, you can tell that is precisely Illigith wasn't really waiting for wasn't waiting for approval. It was form a path, and that was, I mean, he was.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah, no.
All right.
Yep.
We just lost Ryan.
All right.
All right. Well, that ruins our plan. Okay.
Well,
So-
Noki's down. Noki's down. No. Don't do this to me.
All right.
So essentially, what I'm gonna do, Wally,
All right.
is if I can, I want to turn the cylinder on its side and make like a
Lord
tunnel
Almighty.
all the way to the hole and just kind of like run through. You know what I'm saying?
Make it
Freaking do it.
I'm gonna do that.
That's amazing. So this is what happens. You do that. You kind of turn over the cylinder and the cleared path, and you just gun it.
I literally just see this manipulation of magic to where it shortens this beam, you know, where we are literally made a light path into our destination.
Indeed. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
We just kind of run. I kind of see like the rogue darkling trying to like go through and gets his hand like evaporated off. We like run. Gnocchi also runs like hell to the into the hole.
Illios picks up Gnocchi and they just go sprinting.
Yeah.
Yep. So sorry, buddy, but your larger friends here are a little bit faster than you. All right, and so essentially Talbot has cleared you this path, and Minty has cleared it. Like the hounds that were in the path just get evaporated. Any of the darklings that are stupid enough to try and get in there, evaporated. There's basically this perfect path.
Yeah, but
there.
I mean, I would imagine it's clear that that the onslaught is far from over outside as we
look to Talbot and give him the remain strong, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Talbot basically says, "Go! We'll take care of this."
Oh, of course. I wasn't gonna stop for you anyway, but
freaking extras, man.
I just want to let you know, man.
Insert a Wilhelm scream in the battle.
My mint!
Talbot, no!
Multiple my mints.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My mint.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I like leave the cylinder just kind of like in the way, so it.
Well,
just
I would
kinda,
imagine, you know, it's. I mean, obviously, maybe not game mechanics wise, but like it's about this time that spell is kind of, you know.
Yeah.
I still have
Run its
about
course.
about 20 seconds, Logan. So
No.
Just, well, we gotta run.
Yeah, so y'all all run. You all make it into this opening amidst the vines and the trees and the thicket,
This is like the cave where Luke goes in to find Darth Vader.
basically. And you all make it there, and you can see darklings just like essentially.
Potty break.
I know. I'm getting there. And you can see darklings just like pouring over, being evaporated, and you can see hounds kind of bearing it and try to follow you, and you can see a giant vine basically come up and block the entrance to keep them from pursuing you
Sucker.
as you go forward.
awesome.
And Illios, that energy you felt is stronger than ever. Still going strong.
Oh, he's so invigorated right now. He is sufficiently warmed up.
He's got a spiritual boner. Is what's going on there.
No joke. No, for real.
Full on chub right now.
Right. Oh God. Right.
Oh, Il Mater.
And so
God.
you all move forward, and as the vine kind of catches you, and you're all running forward through this dark cave, which is it's essentially a cave. Yeah, it's a cave is like suffused with vines and roots and like everything. The matron's magic's still heavy as you're running forward. You go.
Ryan's not even here. What are you doing?
Did he?
Yes.
What the?
He asked you like 40 minutes ago to
He's there.
take a break.
All right. And you move forward, and you see at the edge of this cave or like this hall a lone figure.
What?
And we'll take our break.
No!
Minty, you wanted to do something before that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Freaking Molly over here.
What?
I need to
Trying
do
to get
something.
us in here, move us along.
Okay, go. Sorry, do it.
No, like make that figure not be there right now and be like around the next corner or something.
Okay. Wait. Retcon, take break.
Okay, beautiful. I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Dang, we did it.
Perfect. All right, 5-minute break. Bathroom it up. I'm about to burst too, don't worry.
Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit. This is it. The big moment is essentially here. Malvadrian versus the group. Not sure how it's going to go. I guess only time will tell.
Only Matron knows what you said.
Yep. You'll have to rewatch the entire thing to find out.
Oh man. Did the mic pick up the neck crack?
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Damn, because I saw the mic, I saw my screen come up after I cracked my neck. I was like, damn, is that loud? Yeah. Sorry about that. Didn't see your warning there in the chat.
No, it's cool.
Right.
I just wanted to get everybody up to full fighting force and then give them a little something from Minty.
All right. That's good to me.
If you want, we could do it like the figure there was an illusion. Just kind of like disappears away,
Yeah, that works.
We'll do that.
You see that, yeah. I All right. Yeah, that works. Hello, people. If you're still watching, it's okay to retcon. People make mistakes. Dungeon masters make mistakes.
Especially dungeon masters make mistakes.
Moldy makes mistakes. And it's okay. It's okay.
You want to change the picture?
I will change it in a little bit.
To a special
I guess right now I can just... Oh no, my face!
Now the world will know of your ugliness. I mean, what? It's okay. They've seen mine for far too long.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you mean, yeah?
What?
Nothing. I can't believe Ryan just pieced out.
LOL. I know Molly was obviously trying to rush that last second. I'm like, don't rush it, just break. Silly.
I didn't see the... Wait. Didn't see Wesley's thing. It's okay. It's okay, we can retcon. Everyone makes mistakes. Anyone still watching by the grace of Ilmater, then
I have a secret message for our future selves.
okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
If well, you have to be your future self to figure that out. You're not ready.
Yeah, so Logan, when I turned off the custom overlay, people saw my face during the game, and that's unacceptable. Right. Now we wait for Mr. Gnocchi. 13 sessions and y'all still don't know his last name.
What can you do?
Yep.
I mean, Illios definitely doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, but you know my clan. So that's pretty much his last name.
Are you the Lionheart clan?
Somebody didn't pay attention.
I mean, it's not like it's not written down on your character.
That's not my clan. That's my title within my clan.
Sunu Kablan.
I don't know. It was some foreign name, dude. Like,
We are the Avalanche of Thunder. Well, we were.
you're the Avalanche of Thunder clan.
It's the Thunakavan.
Yes, I don't. They're nonsense words. Like, that's why, like, I don't remember Japanese names in like anime like Molly does.
What do you want from me? Doesn't mean you haven't been given it.
You're right. I'm terrible.
You are. That's why I'm going to kill you.
If there's anything I've learned in life, is that simple truth. Oh man, this is where it hits the fan, boys.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, seriously. What?
Hmm. I guess you'll have to find out, Molly.
I guess I will. Also, to literally anyone in the chat, as I was stopping, literally as I'm like going into the last thing after the vine blocked the passageway, Wes is like, "I'd like to do something before we go further in." And then I keep going on. Then Logan's like, "Rip," and Wes is like, "Wait," spamming "wait" like 10 times in the chat. Logan's like, "Rip break," and I didn't notice any of it. I stopped looking at the chat probably right when you said that.
Molly, future selves, we will know this.
We will.
We will. We'll remember. Session 13 will go down in infamy.
Fitting that it's number 13.
Are you insinuating that it's going to be unlucky?
What?
Nothing?
I'd like to see Molly do 123 points to Illios.
Dang. You have 123 hit points?
Yep, currently +5 maximum.
Ugh.
I forgot about that. You should make sure Ryan remembers that.
Well, they haven't been healed. Yeah, the only reason I still have it.
Gee,
Is
I wonder what Minty wanted to do.
I wanted to make the most of 122. I wanted to make the most of what I had. So I got my 5 extra hit points back.
Oh God!
Ryan's Ryan, get back.
Most epic cliffhanger. What happened to Gnocchi?
Oh yes, yep. He didn't make it.
Freaking real.
Oh my God! I'm just imagining that battle.
Yeah, just like Illios, in his zeal to move forward, forgets to pick up Gnocchi. You look behind you. Gnocchi's like wobbling forward, run as fast as he can, and the vine just shoots up in front of him.
You know he'd blow down that mother effing vine.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, he'd be like,
Yogi's got that's nothing to Yogi.
oh man.
All right, I gotta put on the appropriate mood music. For the right mood.
Just gonna have Gintama opening 13. Opening 13.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Session 13.
Oh my God, Molly!
It fits so well.
Oh my God!
Logan just like,
He's like fucking weeboos.
yeah.
Molly, you planned this all along.
Yep. This was the yep, from the very beginning. Since
Oh my God!
October of 2016, it was planned. That's why it's taken so long, Logan.
Oh yeah.
Has it really been since October of 2016?
Yeah, it has.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Molly, what the heck? Such a long time.
What are you talking about?
All right, I'm back.
All right. All right. Doobity-doo. Let's get a...
Welcome to your reckoning, baby! I mean, what?
Yeah. All right. Let's get back into it. The passageway y'all just entered has just been closed up. And you are all running forward.
So before we go any further in, thank you, Ryan. Minty would kind of stop everybody at like the entrance. And before we go any further, let me deal with these wounds. And so how many hit points are you guys down?
0.
You're 0? I thought you took some damage.
Yeah, I have lay on hands.
Oh, okay.
You're not hearing those lay on hand.
How many hit points do you need, Nyoki?
A lot.
You have 5. Don't forget your max is +5.
I'm down 15.
Hey, for
All right.
Nyoki, that is a lot.
True. Hope you didn't bleed out.
All right, level 2, cure wounds, freaking your 15 is back to normal. So you are at full HP. But
104.
more importantly, Minty kind of puts her hands on your shoulders
Oh, bet.
and
He looks up into your eyes as you do this.
yes. And she gets kind of solemn for a second. And she says, this fight against Mal and the matrons, it will be deadly. So I'll give you this. And she casts this, the little sigillets on her hands. Kind of, you feel like this warmth kind of flow into this kind of like light. And essentially, she kind of marks you with the sigil of the white lighters. And she's like, should you fall in battle, this sigil should give you enough strength to stand once more. It won't keep you up, but it'll give you the strength to stand at least one last time. And so mechanically how it works is when you hit 0 HP.
Hard?
No, it's when you hit 0 HP, when you go down, you essentially come back up with 1 HP, and you essentially like have 1 turn left, unless you have like some healing capabilities and you can, prolong your stuff. But you have 1 HP instead of 0, so you just come right back up. So it may or may not come in handy. Hopefully you don't need it.
Take that, 123 HP.
You don't go back to full health. You just go back to 1 HP.
No, I know, but that's effectively 1 extra hit point.
Oh. I mean, it'd be super OP if it gave you like all the way back up to your full.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
Is that on Illios or on Noki?
Both of you.
Okay.
She casts 2 level 4 spells on you, or on one of you, and then on the other.
Thanks, son.
All right. So you are tatted up,
Yeah,
just
so
like Mel.
um,
It'll last for 8 hours, so
so
it should be good.
um,
It only lasts once. Once you use it, it's done.
Not if you cast it again.
Yeah. You got me there.
Well,
Stacks on stacks.
Way to ruin the dramatic moment, Ryan.
so Illigith is invigorated by this, not just divinely, but mentally. Let's just say his mental fortress is well stocked, and their defenses are at the ready, at their maximum capacity. He is completely and utterly ready to face anything that would come before them.
Insert John Cena meme. Are you sure about
Damn
that?
it, Molly.
No. It's just like, no, not that. It's like, are you sure about that? No one? All right, move forward.
No, I was thinking the John Cena. Yeah, that one.
I see
That's the one I thought.
Illigith is like, no. Illigith is like,
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't do my camera for that. All right.
Way to ruin the immersion, Molly.
I know, right?
Oh.
Right. So.
There's why we don't take a break.
If there's anything else, you know, other than that, I'm ready to head in.
Noki gives you a hug.
Oh, it's been good knowing you too for this short time that we've been together, Nyoki. You have a good heart.
All right. Illigith, departing his gaze from his allies, stares into the black abyss of the tunnel. Malvadrian, my friend! We are here for you. As he advances.
All right. And you advance for maybe about a minute. And you, slightly illuminated by the glowing light of the ward that a Minty has put on both of you. You move forward, and light begins to seep in to the cavern, to the tunnel, as it reaches its end. And at the end of this tunnel, standing there, is back to you. You see a lone figure in the distance, blocking the exit to the passageway. What does this person look like?
He wears a brown leather duster that you've seen him in multiple times before. What did you say, Molly?
What? Oh.
Oh, damn it, Molly.
No mind the chat.
He wears a brown leather duster. And on his side, you can see the silhouette of a crossbow and a sword. And he kind of turns to face you, kind of like over the shoulder. And he looks at you, and he kind of lets out this really kind of, imagine like how a sloth would yawn, like this woeful exhale. And I imagine that we're probably like about 50 feet away from each other. And he kind of looks at you. And he looks to each of you, stopping at Illigith. And he says, "Part of me wishes that you had not come. The part of me that still feels the bond of our friendship. The feeling of being a hero," as he kind of turns to each of you as he talks. "I used to think that being a hero made me stronger. And I even thought," and he looks to Nyoki and Illigith and Minty, "that the four of us actually had a chance to bring down an empire." And he kind of looks down, and he kind of grimaces in his resolve, and he looks back up to you with that illusion. It was shattered at the Battle of Merton, where Dalton and his army stomped us into the dirt like the inconsequential maggots that we were. He reminded me of a lesson that he taught me long ago. Our bonds and our friendships do not make us stronger. They make us weak, and only strength begets strength. So in order to take down an empire of demons with literally death teeming behind every soldier, you have to be willing to sacrifice anything and everything to defeat the greatest evil this world has ever known. And so, I, Malvadrian von Silas, stand before you, having sacrificed my soul in order to gain the power necessary to defeat this Imperium. And as much as it pains the part of me that still cares and respects the bond we once shared, I cannot ask you to join me. I respect you too much to condemn yourselves to the same fate that I've put myself in. So instead, I ask this proposition of you. Leave here now. Go and tell the gnomes that the matrons have been banished from this forest, this vale. I, along with the matrons, will be leaving here to the matrons' home plane. We're taking the fight to the Empire itself. As it turns out, the matrons are not the enemies we thought they were. They were also wronged by this celestial Imperium. If I allow them to do this ritual, and I go with them and strike at this stronghold in their home world, I can deal a serious blow to the Empire. So I ask this of you. Leave now, so I don't have to do what I have to do, so that our swords do not have to cross. Leave here and we can leave as former allies and friends. But if you stay and you get in our way, you will leave me with no choice. So, what say you, heroes?
And this completely out of place smile erupts on Illios' face. It is so good to see you, my friend. But as this smile remains on his face, and he blinks, a tear runs down his cheek. But I am not leaving this place without you. Here I stand, unmoving.
Malvadrian looks to Gnocchi, hoping that he'll be the voice of reason.
Loki's gonna walk towards you. He still has a pistol in hand. I guess a shotgun still be in his other hand. This pistol's almost ready to shoot in case you try something. We do not leave without you, Malvadrian. Dead or alive. I do hope.
Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
That's it.
Okay.
I do hope it is the latter.
And then Mal kind of finally like turns his gaze to Minty, knowing that of the three of them, she's the most unreasonable. Well, maybe her and Illigith are tied. But and he kind of like looks at her, and she says, she echoes the same thing. You know, I'm not leaving here without you.
Oh, I was gonna.
Rip.
Right. I'm Mal. I forgive you. It was one slip up. It's not your fault. It's theirs. They're doing this to you. I know you are. I know they are. You're not like this. And I'm not leaving without you. I stand by these two in their decision as your friends.
Malvadrian kind of takes this all in, and he doesn't have any weapons in his hand. You know, his hands are kind of like at his side, and they kind of like curl into a fist. And you can see like his fingernails, it digs so deep that blood kind of comes from his palms because his grip is so strong. And he takes a deep intake of air, kind of just accepting the situation is what it is. I had a feeling that this was the inevitable end of this story. Just know that I take no pleasure in what comes next. And then kind of from like an open hand, like, you know, if like he's like that, you kind of see the mark of Minty, the same that was, you know, on Minty's hand. But instead of it being this kind of like white and like golden light kind of like illuminating from it, it's just kind of like an empty, it's kind of like a light bulb that's turned off would be the best way that I could describe it. And then from that, it kind of, yeah, exactly. It kind of turns jet black like ink. And from his hand erupts, you know, is this like this chain kind of like he's holding the chain like this, just kind of like in his hand, and it kind of like falls limp. And he crushes it into that sigil. And you would hear and you would see Minty cry out in pain as he kind of grips this chain. And you would see on the other side of his hand the black, you know, the mark of Minty would be like burning black. And she kind of like collapses like to her knees and like holds her hand like this. And then from that hand, like from that sigil, these chains, these tendrils of chains start coalescing and wrapping around, you know, enveloping Minty and like slowly making her way like up her arm and further progressing, just kind of enveloping her in these chains.
All right. Does Gnocchi, you had a ready to action? Do you use it?
It didn't apply.
It didn't apply.
Neither of ours applied.
All right. And so, like he said, Minty falls to the ground, screaming in agony as these chains envelop her. And Illigith, you can feel her lights not fade, but just weaken. Just keep on weakening as the chains go up her. And you see beneath all of you this foul, arcane rune begin to appear and glow with energy. Mal, is there anything you'd like to say before this next thing happens?
Yeah, so what I'd say was, like, if nobody, like, goes to, like, go after Minty, she would just kind of cry out to both Illigeth and Yoki, find a way to save him. You know, just mirroring exactly like, you know, you guys know exactly what she's thinking as the chains just start to envelop her and just eventually just kind of constricting and kind of flowing back into that sigil. And then conversely, if you're looking at Mal, he also is kind of contorting in pain, kind of like holding his arm as like these little black tendrils kind of like spread around his arm. And you can see that the two, even though the connection's faded, are still connected. And then, you know, take it away, Molly.
I imagine maybe as this next thing happens, Illigith maybe starts to charge, or Nyoki lets out a first barrage of bullets, or anything. But as soon as those actions occur, everything is enveloped in shadow, and you lose your sight, lose your sense of feeling. Illigith, you open your eyes. That's your cue.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So Illigith, you know, about 30 feet in front of you, you see Malvadrian just kind of standing in the same position, in the same posture he was in before. But you're no longer in a cave or a grotto. So around you, we're actually in just like this like plains, you know, fields of grass, almost serene and calm. It's a sunny day outside, and in the distance you can see some mountains and flowers, but also you see patches of scorched earth, and you see bones that litter the field in between in this valley. And I think you've seen through Malvadrian's eyes the battle, like when you were in his mindscape before, when he was first kind of like conquered. You kind of saw the Serenity Valley, and it's the exact same as it was in his mind, except a little bit more real this time. And you just kind of see us two just kind of standing there opposite of each other, about 30 feet apart. And you know, I guess like how are you like kind of like responding to this?
Yeah, I mean,
No, it's no big deal. I know it's really like all of a sudden.
I mean, okay, so sure, Illigith will advance to Malvadrian.
Like aggressively?
No.
Okay.
I'm not hearing, from what I understand, I can no longer hear Minty's screams.
Yeah, it's just you and me in this like huge field of grass, essentially.
There is, yeah, no. I'm walking a rather normal pace.
I got you.
Towards Malvadrian.
Yeah. And then at that point, I say we'd roll initiative. And now I think we cut over to Molly.
Nyoki, you open your eyes. And I'm going to put a picture on that I should have put a picture on while he was doing his thing. But I put it on. I am the master of dramatic moments. I assure you.
Only a master of dramatic moments would feel the need to say that.
Yeah. You open your eyes. Why? Okay, whatever.
No idea.
Just turn off your webcam. I think if you turn off your webcam, maybe I don't know if that'll work.
I can't see your face. It's not
It doesn't work. Anyway, can't see my face.
That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Whatever. We're going with it.
Immersion breaker, man.
Yep.
I
Gnocchi.
didn't even notice it until y'all said that, just to be honest.
Gnocchi. You open your eyes. You've seen this place before. You've been here before. Your memory flashes back to that day. The day you doomed the rebels to their defeat. You see before you, walking calmly towards you, but at a safer distance. He stops. It's a gnome with dead-looking blue hair and goggles atop his head. And the eyes, the vibrant green eyes that you know that he normally has, are stained black. Hello, Gnocchi. You remember this place? What happened here?
You're muted.
All too well.
Equist would scan the surroundings. All of this Anacalcum. All of it ours. All of the guns, our weapons, ours. And you gave them over to let me live. You doomed the entire fight, the battle at Serenity Valley, to their deaths. This is the day you really became a butcher. Long before you got that stupid title. Why couldn't you let me die? I would have preferred it to what happened after. Say something. Gnocchi Martion, damn you. Say something.
So, yeah, all this being brought back out of nowhere. He still hasn't quite dealt with any of this, other than what he's been doing, basically abandoning his guild and going on a rampage of destroying anything that he can celestial related. But he's buried all of his emotions until once when the tree man last session spoke of them, and now again. He takes a deep breath. I may have made the wrong choice in the grand scheme of things. In my heart, I made the right decision. I'm learning to live with that decision.
I wish. And it's at this point you can see the black in his eyes start to flutter a little bit. And you can see the green flecks behind it as he looks at you with a sad expression. I wish from the bottom of my heart, Gnocchi, that I had died that day. None of this would have had to happen.
It didn't have to, but it did. Your wishes will not change my decision. Nothing will.
No, they won't. And the black fully takes over his eyes now, and you can see the veins bulging, his veins bulging with black energy. You made the choice for me to live that day, Gnocchi. And now I'm making a choice to let you die. Roll initiative.
$14.
We go back to Illios and Mal.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time for us to roll initiative as well.
Whatever your number is, you win.
I got a 16. Oh, I see what you're doing.
I say this again to you, Malvadrian. As he stops and looks you in the very eyes that scan the battlefield, that look down to your crossbow and your saber, and he says, I will not fight you, Malvadrian.
Yeah, so as you kind of like advance, I'm kind of seeing you like this like slow advance, and you're kind of like,
Oh, no, he stopped.
oh, you stopped?
Yeah.
Dang it. You ruined my flow, man. How far away are you?
Maybe I got 10 foot. So 20 foot, maybe.
Okay. So he's kind of looking up at you from 10 feet away. And he says, he kind of like looks around this field, looking at all the lives lost and all the memories that should be kind of like flushing back to him, and just kind of feeling that emptiness of like nothing kind of showing up. And he kind of looks to you and he says, don't you think that it's appropriate that our final battle ends where the martyr was born? Look at it, Illios. And he kind of like points around to like the scorched earth, to the bones.
This battle will end before it ever began. Because I was always willing to lay down my life for you. As he kneels and takes his shield off in front of him and sets it down.
He's kind of unsettled by this, as if he wasn't expecting it. And then, you just do not understand, Illios. And you won't understand. And he kind of like points off into the distance to a space where it's just blank sky. There's nothing there. And he points right there. And he says, right there, Illios. That used to be a mountain. And there's nothing there. And now it's ash. villages teeming with people, children, family, my family. The people of the hills of Maribor in a single fight, a single day, crumbled to dust because these villains were allowed to take what was theirs because they were strong. Don't you see, Illios? Although your people have not yet been touched by the Empire in this way, you're next. Join me. Come with me to wherever the hell this plane is. Join me. Don't make me fight you.
You still do not understand. The love. The love that is so freely given to you. It is not about nations, or armies, or mountains. It is about family. It is about loyalty. It is about hope. And with this, Illios, as much as this is kind of a mindscape, the sky above Illios opens as if there were a radiant light kind of shining at an angle toward the Goliath as he casts Beacon of Hope. Malvadrian. You do not have to listen to them any longer. The voices, the bane, the vengeance. Lay it down, because I will not fight you. You can take my life at any point. Because it is not mine. I am not here because I will it.
He breathes out again frustratedly.
Just so you know what Beacon of Hope does, choose any number of creatures within range, and for the duration they have advantage on wisdom saving throws, death saving throws, and regain max amount of hit points when healed.
And the spell is on both of you, or just
Correct.
him? All right.
So Mal looks at you, kind of like with pity in his eyes, because he realizes that you'll never understand. And he kind of turns his back to you and just kind of like walks about 10 feet away from you. Kind of like he's lost in thought. And he kind of turns back to you. And he says, I wish I could live in this world that you've created for yourself. The world that is in the world from your eyes must be a glorious place. But I live in the real world, Illios, where monsters and demons do not yield to love or loyalty. In fact, they spit in its face and destroy mountains and people and turn bone to ash. You will never understand. So I must show you. And he kind of, with his kind of like black tarnished hand, where like the symbol of Minty should be, he kind of cast this black energy up into the sky. And it was like a clear and peaceful day before, like sun was shining. And he sends it kind of like up into the atmosphere, and it's kind of like this black electricity just kind of like spreads across the sky, and these thunder clouds begin to roll in as this lightning kind of like a snake slithering through grass goes amongst the dark clouds, and it begins to rain. You know, as the rain kind of falls down upon both of us, the time for talk is over, Illigeth. Now is the time for action. And he's going to pull out his crossbow. And I feel like we've taken up plenty of turns for the other two, and so we'll switch back over to Illigeth and Yoki.
And so, it's time to take action. Action, action, action. And it fades back over to Hequist and Yoki. Hequist, who is about 15 feet away from you, Yoki, jumps back. Actually, no. He begins walking around you in a circle. And you feel the light in this place from the anacalcum crystals. Sorry, let me do this real quick. You feel the light begin to disappear until you're in pitch black. I'm not an idiot, Nyoki. You hear his voice from the opposite side of you, where he was standing. You're a better fighter than I could ever be. So I have to take measures. Your AC is 16, right?
Yeah.
All right. Right. All right. You take 19 points of whatever damage the gun is. And as you take this damage, maybe you move aside, roll aside as the second shot misses. Come at me, Nyoki. Just see if you can.
Noki, I don't know where that came from. Noki takes this shot and kind of flinches backwards as it hits him. The second shot barely missing. He doesn't go for a weapon or anything. I'm going to go ahead and use my second wind now. And say, and I happen to roll a 10, so that's my entire hit point pulled back. You did not die on that day so many months ago. Why do you wish to die today? Nothing. This will not change anything.
No, it might not change anything. But I'll sure as hell feel damn good about it, won't I? And like, as he's talking, I mean, you definitely get the feeling that there's something else there within him that is not necessarily spurring his action, but is just there, just this other voice, this other presence that you can feel as a result of being a part of this mindscape that is permeating every word that he's saying.
Gotcha.
And I'm not dying here today, Nyoki. You had your chance for that. Are you going to fight? Or just stand there like a fool.
Neither one of us have to die today, but you're so much of a coward that you will kill an unarmed fool. Come back to me, Hecklist, and together we will get our revenge on the Empire. Come back to me.
Come back to me. Come back to you? What are you talking about? You left me. You left everyone. You left us even after. You left us to go on your rampage. You shut all of us out. All of us. Every one of us. I may have been pissed, damn it. But I was your best friend. We could have worked through it then. And you feel something clatter at your feet. And you can see it somehow in the darkness. You can see that it's an amulet of Garl Glitter Gold. The matching set. You can take it back. I don't need it anymore. Now you fight me, damn it. Gnocchi. And you'd feel another shot. Slam into you. For 17 points of damage this time. Fight me, Gnocchi.
Okay, he's gonna kneel down and grab this amulet of Garl. He can place it back around his neck so it's hanging alongside his own. I'll hold on to this for you for now, but there's no fight to be had.
Damn you! And then we go back to Illios and Mal.
So, where we last left our heroes. Mal had his crossbow trained at Illiget's chest as he kind of stand there, kind of prostrated before him. And he has the crossbow trained on him. And in his mind, he's thinking, if I pull this trigger, there's no going back. He's kind of thinking, if I pull this trigger, the part of me that still cares will die. And LOL Logan. And he begins his hands, which are usually, dead eye, begin to shake, seemingly like uncontrollably as his finger begins to twitch, where it's kind of like he's fighting this internal battle on the inside. He grimaces and he starts to get angry, and it's kind of seeping, all these emotions kind of at once, kind of bursting. They were kind of being suppressed, burst from the surface. And from there, he kind of drops to his knees, still aimed at his chest. looking him dead in the eye. Damn you, Illigath. Do you say anything? Huh?
Not
No?
yet.
Not yet. Frickin' come on, man.
I mean, but I say that because this is. I mean, I say that completely in character. Like this is, he's given you the go ahead.
Yeah. And he drops the crossbow from his hand, and it falls in the grass as he just kind of sits there. He slumps back on his heels, and he looks as the rain kind of cascades on his head, and he kind of whispers up to the sky, "I can't do it."
A few moments pass, and it's kind of you said you like laid back on your back.
No, like he laid like imagine like he was like on his knees aiming at you.
I got you.
And he fell back, his butt's on his
I got
heels,
you.
kind of like deflated.
Eligith crosses his legs, Indian style, and sits on the ground. You know, Malvadrian, it would seem that here we have all the time in the world. Have I told you this story of the goat on the mountain?
He kind of laughs at the absurdity of this whole situation. No.
There was once a black goat. You see, most goats, they are not black. And all of the other goats, well, they made fun of the black goat. So he ran away, cursing his friends and cursing his parents. How could they make fun of me? He cried out. How could my parents, how could they have given me this black fur? And one day he came back to his friends. And he wanted to hurt them. But the shepherd was close by. You see. And he smiled at the black goat. And he said, you know, you are my favorite of all the herd because you are unique. You are special. The only black goat I have ever had. And the shepherd took the black goat, fed him delicacies, took care of the black goat, let him stay in his own house, of all things. And the black goat, he said, maybe being a black goat isn't so bad if I am loved so much.
Malvadrian begins to chuckle, and the chuckle leads to a laugh, which leads to like this insidious laughter. And he looks at him kind of like, you know, like head cocked to the side. And he says, only you, Illigath, could stare death in the face and convince him that life still had meaning. Thank you.
It is my honor, friend.
You know,
It's up.
he's
He leaves
right.
his shield. Hush, Molly. He leaves his shield. He walks towards Malvadrian. He bends down, offering his hand. I would go to the end of the earth and back for you, friend. As he hands you his hand wide open for you to take.
Yeah. Then Malvadrian would kind of reach up to grab your hand and kind of grab it, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like men,
Damn
and begin to
straight.
like get up, from the. Huh.
That would be the biggest hug Illios has ever given.
Yeah. Be the only hug Mal's ever given.
And if you ever did see a big man cry,
Life is pain.
go ahead, Molly.
It's too bad. It's not your choice to make anymore. Malvadrian, as you're going in, as you're hugging, you stab Illios in the torso with your saber.
While we're hugging?
You had your chance, Silas. I gave you a bit of freedom. But now you're all mine.
You want to roll that wisdom save with advantage? Wink.
Sure, because you have Beacon of Hope, I won't say you can make an advantage, but you can make a save, damn it.
All right.
Because you wouldn't have gotten a save otherwise.
Roll like your life depended on it.
This is like a la the vampire, all the way back when in our first campaign.
Remember you have inspiration if you want to use it.
I feel like this is a fate moment, man.
I feel like that too. I just wanted to tell you.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
They'll get a +2. I swear it was a nat 20.
Look at that.
Oh my god!
Oh my good god! Yes!
Natural 20. You
Fail,
can't make
but I
this
don't
stuff
care. That's amazing.
You can't make this stuff up.
You can't make this shit up.
Hell yeah!
You can't make this shit up.
Oh man.
I got goosebumps.
So do I. As the sword, mere less than an inch from Illios' torso, your blade stops.
And he kind of drops the blade. And he kind of brings back Illios kind of like a, like if you grab somebody like by shoulder length, kind of like that. We did it, friend. Not today, Matron. Not today. Not ever.
You watch as the black tendrils, the dark, deep-set eyes that he had that were shaded over, dissipate.
And I imagine the black ichor that was in that, the reservoir that like Minty had made just kind of melts away. And just kind of like seep out like, black ichor, like dripping, oozing away.
And it disperses, all beneath the light of the great god Ilmater. Nyoki, we go back to you. You feel... Actually, let's see.
I kind of want to say I kind of want to say something. I'm really sorry, Molly.
No, you're sure.
Kind of in that at the end of that moment,
Yeah, go for it, man.
Malvadrian, I believe that we have friends to save. Do we not?
You know, Adrian kind of, with the happy moment kind of being there, he like his smile, he kind of falls dead, like falls flat, and he says, "That's the thing, Illigith. I totally forgot about Gnocchi. This place, this whatever it is, it won't dissipate until the battle with Gnocchi is done. If I," he kind of like goes to grab his face, but and he kind of like looks to him. Maybe we can find a way out. It's better than just sitting here.
And we go back to Gnocchi. Gnocchi, you feel your nose break as the butt of a rifle smashes into your face. And you're going to take 9 bludgeoning damage from that. And you feel are you essentially not fighting back right now, right?
Yeah.
And you feel another smacking you across the cheek, knocking you down onto the ground. And you take another 5 bludgeoning damage. And you feel a hand grab your collar and bring you up right to his face. And in the darkness, you see the eyes stained black next to yours. If you don't fight me, are you really going to die for this? Fight back! And he throws you against one of the. He throws you against one of the pillars against a wall. The Anacalcon. You take another 3 bludgeoning damage. Get up and fight. Now!
Noki against the wall. They've been beaten on and then thrown. Looks up into the eyes of Hequist. They're going to kill me. Get it over with. If you're out of ammo, use this. And he throws his musket at him. Or maybe you would rather use our new technology. And he throws his shotgun also. Or maybe one of my signature weapons. And he throws the pistols also across the room. Or they're so obsessed with the name Butcher. Use the weapon that got me that name. And he takes his rapier from his side and throws that also.
Equist is looking at you, incredulous, taken aback at this display. A memory flashes through your head, Gnocchi. You're both young, under the tutelage of Roveg. You're each. Hequist had accidentally broken a toy that you would work so hard on, a present for Rovig. And you steaming. Well, actually, what do you do? It's a young little gnocchi.
What's the look on Equus' face when he does this? Is it
The look on Hekwa's face is one of shock and fear, and he immediately like puts his hands up. Is like he's seen you get pretty violent. Granted, you're still a kid. He's seen you get pretty violent. You didn't take any shit even back then. And this is before you really knew each other that well. This is like during your first week of apprenticeship. And all the other gnomes are silent, watching.
Noki? Anger is his go-to. But seeing the reaction of Equus, he takes a deep breath to channel his anger. Then, have I told you why I wear this pendant of Garl glitter gold? You know me well enough by now. I don't go to services for him. I don't worship his name. Before I was taken in, I heard a saying from him, from Garl. I've lived my life by that the best I could. While life may sometimes be hard, it is important to keep a sense of humor and always welcome opportunities for laughter and delight. You may have done this, broken this toy together. Years from now, we'll laugh about it, thus bringing laughter from the quote, and we will fix it together to bring delight to Roveg together.
And a young Hequist, tears almost on the verge, just out of pure fear and just the shock of what you just said. He grabs the amulet of Garl Glitter Gold, and he looks up at you, and he smiles through the tears in his eyes. Okay. The memory stops flashing, and in front of you, as the darkness begins to fade, you see tears streaming down Hekwa's face. The darkness in his eyes wavering until it disperses completely. Yoki, he falls to his knees. I'm so sorry. I didn't want any of this to happen. I was just... She took hold of me, Yoki. She amplified my anger. But I feel as if that I could have stopped it. If I really wanted to, I could have not done this. Not hurt you. You're my best friend, damn it. I'm sorry for all of this. Please forgive me, Yuki. I'm sorry.
Noki would get up and walk over to where Hequist is and kneel down next to him. Give him a big gnomish hug. You may have injured me, but I will heal. Anything you've done so far can be fixed or replaced. No damage you have done is too much. You can come back from this. And then he's going to take the amulet back off and place it back around Hequist.
Hequist looks up. And he has the amulet. He's holding it, the little golden nugget at the end of the chain, in his hand. And he clasps it. And he looks at you, Nyoki. A smile comes across his face. And he embraces you. We go back to Mal saying the words, "But we can get out of here. If we can just find a way." And as you do this, the mindscape around you begins to crumble and fade away. The same happens with you, Nyoki, and Hequist. And you're both of you back in that passageway. The arcane rune on the floor broken. Looks as if there's a crack in it.
Is Hequist here?
Hequist is here.
Okay.
And he's still embracing Nyoki.
Nyoki! As Illios sees him running towards his wounded friend. Well, Malvadrian, it appears that we did not have to search very far.
He kind of smiles, and he said, "I never had a doubt."
Of course, you would hear Malvadrian's voice, Nyoki.
Hearing you, Illios, Noki smiles and turns to you. You know I always come back. Referencing the time he was sucked into a portal, smiling.
Yeah.
And
I
you
imagine
know,
we all laugh like idiots, wiping away tears.
um, Illigith is in this process gonna imbue some hit points to him. Sorry to get a little meta with the points here, but we're gonna do like we're gonna do eight hit points or something. I'm not really sure what he was at, but that rounds my number out. So sorry, Gnocchi.
is Minty around? Or is she missing?
Yeah, so that's like not in Illigith's. Like you two are here, and he's so focused, and then I would imagine one of your attentions is like,
Yeah, that's
okay.
kind of like I was just about to say that right after you. It's like, kind of like looks
He like
around.
remembers the screaming, and so he's looking around for her.
You would see Minty off to the side, and the chains have been shattered, broken around her. And she gets up and dusts herself off.
Wow.
Like, a little dramatic there. I think you have something to say to me. Malvadrian.
Man, this is the biggest shitting conversation he's gonna have in his life. Apologizing to a pissed off woman. Yeah, so Malvadrian's like sheepishly like looking at his shoes. And he just kind of like walks towards her. And you know, getting about like arm's length away from her, and he looks up at her. His eyes like their normal color. And he kind of like looks at her. And he just says, "I'm sorry. It seems such a hollow thing to say, but and he looks at her again, hoping that like her hard raged features, start to smooth out a little bit as he kind of just looks at her, and he says, I'm glad you're okay. Thank you for coming after me."
Yeah. That's what I wanted to hear.
He kind of like rubs the back of his head and like looks away awkwardly.
Well, come here.
He kind of like looks at her like, "What do you mean?" And then he like looks down at his hand and sees like the empty, nothing there, and he's like, "Oh."
Yep. And or do you walk towards her?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the time where I go bad again.
You back into the darkness along with Gnocchi and Illigith in the chat.
Taking them with me.
Well,
the spirit bomb.
Yep. And as you walk towards, Minty has a smile on her face. And then that smile quickly turns to one of fear and shock. And Mal, you feel that same pain that you felt the day you were cursed. And you feel as if your soul is being ripped from your body. Gnocchi, you look at Heckwist and you see Gnocchi! Help! And Minty rushes towards you, Mal, as quickly as she can. and interlocks her hand with yours. And you see that bright, radiant light. And she just immediately says, like, "Oh, I'm not losing you again. Not this time to that bitch." And you can feel your soul start being pulled. Yes, you have your weapons on you. You feel your soul as if it's a tug of war, but it's being anchored there by Minty. How do Illigith and Gnocchi react to?
Gnocchi, you first.
Yeah.
Noki looks
I know what I'm gonna do.
Noki looks over at Hequist, seeing that he's being choked or something, but he doesn't see anything that's choking him. And he'd kind of like reach his hand out, kind of like slap at his throat or whatever, see if there's like something invisible there. And assuming his hand flies through the air, he calls to Illigith for help.
Illios, seeing this sheer pain and suffering desecrate this beautiful moment among these people. And it's as if he is removed for a moment when white hot flames erupt from his hands, from his eyes, and there's a voice that booms, but it is not Illigus. I will not tolerate this suffering any longer. As he stands ready to fight.
Gnocchi, you would see Hequist, the black, coursing through the veins. His eyes would come over black one last time with a final breath. And you would see the black leave him, along with a shining light that leaves through his mouth and goes flying straight into the grotto. Hequist's body falls to the ground. Limp, not moving. Mal, Minty basically coalesces into the mark, and you're once again joined with her. And she immediately says, like, his soul, it's been taken. It's been taken by her. I can feel it. All of them. And Illigith, as you basically turn into an avatar of your god, or a minor avatar of your god, as your god speaks through you, you feel something you didn't feel before with your newfound connection to your god. You feel souls disappearing one by one by one. We cut over to Albot and the forces outside. We can see that all of the remaining Darklings and hounds are all writhing on the ground, becoming limp as these orbs of light exit their bodies and go flying through the passageway, all gathering in one spot. You see, well, actually, before I say this next thing, is there anything that y'all do immediately as this is happening?
I'll be honest, I see like super awesome epic heroic pose, flaming freaking divine Illigith, freaking Mao badass looking like loading this freaking crossbow up in the like freaking gnocchi like over here with like akimbo shotguns like freaking ready to go. I'm just saying like that's exactly what I see right now. Minty blazing on the hand. Like, that's right, freaking wrecking crew, son.
All right. We cut over to the grotto. All of the souls gathering. All of the souls walking towards it. All coalescing as the chain demons go on with their demonic chant. And you can see that amidst the black, putrid water, the souls are coalescing and transforming themselves into Anacalca. The matron looks up and across the way where she knows that you'll appear from literally any moment. And she says, "So be it." And that's where we'll end our session.
Hell yeah!
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Here's the next time, boys.
Yep. Freaking okay, I'm giving 2 points of inspiration to all of you. I want to give 3, but I'm giving you 2.
Literally, my phone's like, open your eyes fully.
Oh my goodness.
But I can't.
All right. So,
You're
yeah.
still live, Molly. You're still live.
Oh, yeah, I know. This has been
We're still alive, guys. We're still alive.
This has been Illios session 13, titled Redemption.
Yeah, it has.
Y'all have a good night.